Hey guys, just before this video begins, I just want to put up a little photo-sensitive warning because for some reason my camera throughout this video ends up flickering in the background, and I'm not entirely sure what's caused it yet, but I am going to look into it, and by the time the next video is recorded, it should be fixed. So yeah, just going to put that up now. Enjoy the video. Hello everyone, and welcome to a different kind of video. Today I will be going through my Ocarina of Time remake hot takes. Because with the game being announced about 2 weeks ago, I have some time to think over and what I want to see, what other people want to see, and kind of like my hopes and kind of opinions. So yes, before we start this video, these are my opinions. Please don't come and slice my head off with a Master Sword or shoot a hookshot through my face, because this is only my opinion and should not be taken too seriously unless they are good opinions. So, I'm going to start off nice and simple, and we're going to get slowly more spicy as we get on. There's not too many, this is going to be a relatively short video, so let's just get straight into it. So, number one, this is what I thought the day the game came out. The game should be referred to as Ocarina of Time Reborn. I don't know what it is, it just sounds like, I mean, it was in the direct, they said, oh, the Reborn version of the game, and it's kind of got like the Joy of Creation Reborn vibes, which if anyone has played that knows that is a fantastic game. I really want there to be some sort of fancy name for it that isn't just Ocarina of Time again. Do you know, like Ocarina of Time Remastered. I want it to have this really cool, like, unique name. To be honest with you, from this point out, I will be referring to it as Ocarina of Time Reborn, because that sounds pretty cool to me. Starting off well. Next part, I would hate for there to be DLC. The only way I could think of it being somewhat positive is if it is either cosmetic or so small that you won't really notice it in game. I don't think Ocarina of Time needs to have downloadable content unless it's like Majora's Mask, but to be honest with you, I can see that being a whole different game. So, yeah, I would absolutely hate to see Ocarina of Time have DLC. Some of these hot takes are going to be silly, some of them are going to be serious, you know, some of it's going to be a whole range of things, I'm just going to say. This one relates to, they should keep Zora's side waddle in the game. I want a new generation of people that come to this game. I just want them to experience it, and it's not just that; it's the other Ocarina of Time like classic moments, like getting hit by a Goron on Death Mountain. You know that one Goron that comes from the as a kid every single time. The race for the hookshot. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Above all else, I want them to keep King Zora's waddle the same, because introducing that stupid, like, okay, when you get into Zora's domain, right, and he sat there and he asked him to move, and he just yeah, it's just so stupid, and I really hope they keep it, because that is like one of the classic Ocarina of Time moments that every single generation that played the game originally has experienced, and I love it and I hate it at the same time. Every time I come up to it, I'm excited to see it, but it's like, it takes so long. So I would love to see a new generation just get introduced to that stupid moment. Now, I don't think this is much of a hot take, but I want some dedicated orchestral music, because if people don't know, Ocarina of Time's music is mostly made from like you know, what is it? It's not samples, is it? What's it called? It was made using MIDI and sample libraries. So the music that you hear isn't actually, at least as far as I know, a lot of the music you can hear it in the Temple of Time. That humming, that choir music isn't actually a real choir. It is a real choir, but it's audio samples of a choir. It's not made specifically for the game. He's just used it. So I would love to see that, because the technology is way better. I'd love to see orchestrated. I can't even talk. I would love to see some orchestrated music, because I think it deserves it. There's some absolute fantastic music in the game, and to hear that in all like Super Mario Galaxy, to hear it in that style would be fantastic. So I would love to see that. Next up, this is a bit more like gameplay based. It's not exactly based on the game. So it would be nice if Link could ride Epona. Now, I understand why Link can't ride Epona in Ocarina of Time, but he can in Majora's Mask, because apparently there's supposed to be an age difference. He's a little bit older. But it would be really, really nice, because they've shown they can do it. I know in the 3D remake they didn't change anything, it was just exactly the same, but I mean the 3D is a remaster, not a remake. It's not changing everything. It's just making the graphics better. So I would love to see, like, I don't know, I just think it would be nice to have Link ride Epona when she's younger and also ride her when she's older, because it makes the game so much quicker. You get across Hyrule Field so much better. You don't have to resort to side hopping, backflipping, walking backwards, bomb slides and all that stuff. You don't have to rely on that. You can just ride Epona across the land. I get why she can't be ridden, and it might be a long shot, but I would like it. Speaking of Hyrule Field, there should be more to do in Hyrule Field, and I think this is in general. Like, I know Nintendo was saying that they were gonna take the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom formula forward whenever they develop their games in the future. And if we are going to get a mix of Ocarina of Time and Tears of the Kingdom, like, world, I would love to see some more stuff in it. One of my biggest things in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is that, yeah, the place is massive. There's so much to do, so much ground to cover. But, like, as you get into the late game, once the novelty kind of runs off, they're kind of empty. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom is a bit better. It does fill it a lot more. But outside, like, just some enemies and some weird kind of Korok locations, there's not really much else to do in the land. Which, I mean, it's kind of hard because an open world game, you've got a lot to fill. You've got a certain hard drive to I mean, you've got to fit it inside this. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not as thick as some other consoles are. You know what I mean? You've got to fit it in that. I would just like to see a little bit more in Hyrule Field, a little bit more to do, because in the N64 version, there's basically nothing. I mean, outside of like a few heart pieces or some sculptures, that is it. So I'd like to see more, and I would also like to see it bigger. But I think also on top of this, there's another one. I would like there to be no loading screens, or like some cheekily, kind of sneakily introduced loading screens. A bit like how in the depths, when you're falling from, when you're falling into the depths, that tunnel is a loading screen basically. So you stay there as long as it takes your game to load the depths. I would love to see that instead, because I mean, you could do it really well. Like in the Lost Woods, you could just have Link walk around in circles. But I mean, that Hyrule isn't as big as Breath of the Wild's Hyrule. Unless they make it the same size, it's not going to matter because it's going to be small enough that below. So I'd just like to see it all be connected, because I mean, I love the loading screens. I used to spend my time waiting for it to just turn to morning, when like the chickens and like the birds are sweeting, and go inside Kakariko just so I could listen to it. Very relaxing. I'd recommend you do it if you haven't already. But I would like to see it all connected into one, to kind of bring that immersion together that Ocarina of Time is missing. When you see a loading screen, you think, oh wow, well, this is really connected. You know, you might not think it in the time, but it's one of them things. And now on to kind of the items. I would love them to keep the gyroscope aiming for bows and slingshots and hookshots. I mean, it's been working quite well for the bows in Tears of the Kingdom, and any other like throwable weapons. So I don't really see them not using it for some ungodly reason, and they used it in the 3DS version, so I don't know why I've even wrote that there. Okay, here is a big one. I want there to be no weapon durability. I know, I get it. I understand why it's in the game. I appreciate it being a Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It definitely flips the whole thing on its lid, but I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Like, I know people say, oh, it's a skill issue. No, you know, you gotta micromanage. But it adds an extra bit of stress to my mind, because I'm like, well, I gotta save my big weapons for the big bosses, and then I never end up using it. It's the same concept as you give someone a potion or like a magic power that you can only use like once or twice, and gamers we will never use it. We'll never use it until like the final battle, because we're resource conscious. So I don't know. I can't see weapon durability working in Ocarina of Time, because unless they added some new weapons, you only have the Kokiri sword and the Master Sword, and if those two broke, kind of stupid. I get why it does it in Breath of the Wild. I understand, 100%. I love those two games a lot. I'm not saying that it's bad. It's just, if you want people to enjoy Ocarina of Time all the way, because the format is different, get rid of weapon durability, please, because it would be stupid. Okay, so another one which might ruffle some feathers. I want there to be voice acting. Again, coming off the past two games, or the Zelda games have been voice acted since Breath of the Wild. I want there to be voice acting. I don't know what it is. I mean, we spent years kind of making up voices for these characters, and that is fun. I like it, but I think it's finally time to put voice to mouth, do you know what I mean? Like the Deku tree, I can see him being the soul. I mean, he's hang on, wrong direction. You know, I can see him being like, hang on, you know what? Let's get him off. Link, I want you to get the spiritual stone.
and go to the princess to save the world.
My ventriloquism, it was unmatched. Yeah, so I want them to be voice acting because I wanna hear the talented voice actors that make these games work. I think adding a voice to your favourite characters will help you connect with them a bit more. And some people don't like it, some people don't like the voice acting at all. I don't understand that, personally, because I really do. So moving on, I want there to be a Master Quest version. Oh, I really want it to be a Master Quest version. I loved playing, like, the 3DS version. You get to the end, you beat Ganondorf. Oh, sorry, spoilers. You beat Ganon, and you get to the end, and you come on the home screen, and then suddenly it appears, just Master Quest, and you're like, well, what's that? You click on it, and then it is a flipped version of the world. It is harder, the puzzles have been spun around, the enemies do more damage. It is just overall, like, a more difficult version of the game, and I love it. Because as someone who's played Ocarina of Time since I was like, what, 5? I know that game in and out. I do. Like, I don't know everything about it, but I know it so well. So playing the Master Quest version, flipping that on its head, it just enhances the experience because you take something that you've loved. Like, say you make a cake, right? You make a Victoria sponge, right? Just basic. No, just a little bit of flour, a bit of jam, whatever, right? And you bake that over a couple of years, right? And then one day you think, let's add a bit of icing to this Victoria sponge, right? And the process is difficult. It's hard to figure out. Well, I mean, I don't know baking very well, but the process is more difficult. But in the end, you now have a Victoria sponge that has like some nice bit of flavoured icing on top, and it just enhances, just makes it just that bit better. So yeah, I would love there to be a Master Quest version. Again, some of these are reaches. I can't see them doing it as of right now. Maybe that could be a DLC, you know? If there was to be DLC, it would have to be Master Quest. A bit like how Breath of the Wild has one. Tears of the Kingdom hasn't got one yet, but Breath of the Wild does, so I'd love to see that. Anyway, I'm rambling now, Okay, so speaking on things being hard, I would love the water temple to stay the same. I don't know what it is. Like, you can change all of the other temples. I don't care. I mean, I love the forest temple. It's my favourite. Please. I want people to experience Ocarina of Time in some aspects the same way that we all had to. Like, the water temple is a hellhole. It's a fantastic dungeon. I would say it's my top 5, like, of all time. And talking about temples, I would love there to be a Temple of Light. There was a lot of debate about it, because it was rumoured that the light medallion you'd get from Roru at the beginning of the adult timeline, I would love for them to add that light. You know, this is, you know what, let's scratch this bit. My hot take is they should add a lot of the cut content that they couldn't add before. So yeah, the Light Temple was cut content that the Nintendo team had to get rid of, and I think that's a shame because I think it could have been really cool. So I think like they should bring back all the cut content, or like some bits of the cut content that they couldn't do, that they wanted to do, and just simply couldn't because of the N64's limitations. I mean, and also the 3DS's limitations, because both consoles, you know, it's nowhere near as powerful as the Switch and the Switch 2. Adding on to that, another hot take I'd like is I would love for them to experiment more with time travel. I don't know how they do it, but I would love for them to incorporate time travel. I want them to incorporate time travel a little bit more than they had. You know, again, playing with that. Things they couldn't do before. Now that they've got more hardware, they can do it. They should make the boss fights harder. And also, this might not just be to boss fights. This could also be to enemies as well. They could introduce difficulty settings, but Nintendo haven't had the best track record of making things harder with difficulty settings. Just look at the Pikmin 4 update, you know, I mean, it's not massively harder, is it? So I would love to see them make boss fights harder, like either that's introducing a new mechanic that you have to, I mean, when you think of Phantom Ganon, right, and also Ganondorf's fight, again, spoilers, you know, 20-year-old game, not even that, 27-year-old game. Fighting Ganondorf at the end of the game is just a massive tennis match. It's very simple. You bap the energy ball back with a bottle, with a sword, with whatever you want, your toe, and you hit him with an arrow, and then you slice and dice, right? I would love them to change things about it. I would love them to add like a new mechanic. This is not the best example, but Majora's Mask, the remaster version, the 3D version, I know people hate it. I hated it as well, but they added an extra step to the fight. So with a doorway, you had to go above him to hit the eye with a Deku nut before you could actually do damage to him, whereas before you just sliced his toes repeatedly. So I get that there is a nuance to this, because sometimes it will work. Sometimes it is absolutely awful. The Gyog fight in Majora's Mask is awful in the remake. I hate it. I hate doing it every time, because they not only did they mess with the Zora controls, Why? Make it a setting so we can swim normally. But, oh, it's such a faff. I mean, so yeah, I would want them to change the boss fights in Ocarina of Time, but I don't want them to make them worse. I think I was talking to my partner about it a couple of days ago, and she said, you want them to add and not retract. Yes, and that's exactly how I feel. I want them to add to the boss fight, not make it worse because they've changed it. But yeah, that's what I want, because I want it to be harder for returning players who have played it for years on end or have just played it last year or whatever. But I also want it to be fun enough for new players, and I don't think the boss fights are that fun for a new player, because, I mean, it's fun figuring them out, but once you figure them out, I need to stop doing this. Once I figured it out, I don't know, it's just easy. Okay, so now on to my last my last 5, and these are by far probably the most controversial ones. I don't know, well, we will see. I want them to get rid of the sculptular house. And sculptures in general. The golden ones, not the normal ones. I don't care about the normal ones. The golden sculptures. I mean, I have a thing against collectibles. Like, I like some games when you do it, when you've got like a massive number of items to collect, and like you have to go around the world and collect them all. Like the Koroks in Breath of the Wild, again, we're coming back here. And it's quite fitting because, again, these games are going to merge together probably. But I hate the Koroks. I mean, I have never collected 999 of them in either game. I know you don't have to, but oh, it's painful. And I will admit, like, I have not collected all the golden sculptures in Ocarina of Time, because once you hit 70, you've gotten all the reward. What's the point, other than just for fun? I've never done it because I hate it. You can see it. I absolutely hate the sculpture quest. It's a cool concept, but I wouldn't like them to bring it back. Or if they do bring it back, make it better. Moving on, and this one will. I know people will hate me for saying this, and no. I want Navi to be more involved. Now, before, again, you get your pitchforks and you stab me in the face. I know a lot of people hate Navi. I get it. I understand why. But I've never really hated her. You know, I've always liked her as a companion that follows you along and makes comments and helps you figure out a boss and gives you like little trivia bits. But I kind of want her to be a bit more involved. I mean, I think people think she's a bad companion because she has no personality. A lot of people like Tattle because she's got personality. She's a older sister who's very protective of her younger brother, and you can see a lot of feistiness in her text and how she talks to people, and I think that makes her more memorable than Navi, who's just kind of annoying. It's a bit like Fi and Midna, right? Or Fi, whatever you say. Fi, she's very mathematical. She is a robot basically, isn't she? But over the course of the game, she becomes a little bit more human, a little bit more relatable, and people don't really like Fi that much either, which I think is I'll be making a video on that. She does have personality, and Midna, you know, is a fan favourite because she is all personality. She's just a fantastic overall rounded character with good motivation, quippy little comments, and she's just overall complex. That's what people want. People want complexity. So I think I want Navi to be more involved, because I think there's a side to her that people haven't seen, or people should see. She should be a bit more complex, and she should have comments and thoughts, and I don't know, a bit more involved. Because then, again, spoiler warning, when she leaves at the end of the game, it's a little bit more impactful, and then you can understand why Link goes after her in Majora's Mask. Moving on, this is probably my longest reach I've had so far. But it would be really cool if they had a randomizer, because you can see how big that community has grown since the remaster. Most of the Ocarina of Time videos I watch nowadays is a randomizer, like a Margin Phil playing, like a Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time randomizer, or Twilight Princess randomizer, or Skyward Sword randomizer. Like, it is huge now compared to what it used to be, and I think Nintendo would be missing the ball a little bit. Again, it's a reach, but I think it would be cool to see if they could have a randomizer option. I'm sure, give it a month or two, that people will find a way to randomize it, because the internet is fascinating. I don't understand how they do it. Honestly, you can release something, you can work on something for months, and then the second you release it, bam, there's like hundreds of different ways to play it made by fans. It's just crazy. So, my second to last take is, and I've kind of talked about this over the course of this video, but I think bottom line is, I would like them to change a lot about the original game. Not everything, like I don't want it to be just another one-to-one remake of Ocarina of Time, because if I wanted to play that, I might as well just play the 3D remaster. You know, it's perfectly good graphics, and it's exactly the same game as Ocarina of Time on the N64. But again, I don't think it should take away from the original. I think it should only add. It should only add quality. They shouldn't do anything to change anything massively so it loses who it is. Because the reason why, I mean, I dabbled with this thought myself, but when I watched that trailer and then I thought about it afterwards, I would love to see something different. Because then I think for returning players such as myself, it keeps the game interesting. Because let's be honest, when you play the 3D remaster, you're thinking, oh wow, look at these pretty cool graphics, and then after a while you just go, yeah, this is just the same game, and you kind of get into a rhythm of what you're used to playing. So it would be nice to see with this reborn version that they switch everything up. So they make new players, they make old players think, oh okay, so that's different now, so we can't just do this and this. I want you to make them think. Like, it is a puzzle game after all. I want them to make old players think. This is not the game you used to play when you're younger. It looks like it, but it is not the same. It is just slightly different to add that extra bit of challenge. Again, the master mode is a perfect example of this. Maybe not that hard, but by switching the formula, it made a better experience for me. And I mean, I would love it either way when I play it. No matter if it's the same or if it's different. I would just hope that they would change some things. And again, might be reaching. As well as that, like for new players, they can then go back to the N64 version and be like, oh, well, what did they change? It's kind of like watching a TV show and then thinking, oh, well, let's read the book. Let's see what's changed, what's different, what's been shifted around. That might be the perfect analogy. I want it to be a TV adaptation of a book. But instead it's a remaster, it's a remake of an old game. I want it to still have the identity of the game, but I want it to be new, do different things and experiment, because they have the hardware. They have the possibility to make this into something fantastic. In terms of like a content perspective, you can make a lot more content off of your like initial reaction to a new version of a game you love than just simply, again, playing through the same game but with better graphics. So yeah, and okay. My last one, my spiciest. I'm just gonna just got this with me, just so like as a human shield when I say this. Okay, ready? I think Ocarina of Time deserved the remake over Twilight Princess. I want to state that both games are phenomenal. Twilight Princess is a fantastic game with such a deep, rich story and world, and I can see why people love it. And I get that Nintendo have been neglecting it. It should have come out on Switch at least, you know what I mean? Like the last remake they got was on the Wii U, and the Wii U, not a lot of people own them because, I mean, I don't mind it. I like the console, but not a lot of people liked it. I think it is time for Twilight Princess to come out on the Switch, or the Switch 2. I get they've just gotten a PC emulator, which is fantastic for Switch for Twilight Princess fans, because then they can just go and do whatever they want with that, which is fantastic for them. But yeah, I think Ocarina of Time, it makes sense in my head why they've done what they've done. When you compare the games together, look at Ocarina of Time at its face value on the N64 and Twilight Princess on the GameCube. When you look at both of them, you can clearly see that Ocarina of Time needs a lot more polish and a lot more changing, a lot more tweaking than Twilight Princess does. The way I see it is that I think out of the two, you can see that Ocarina of Time needs bringing up to the modern day, whereas Twilight Princess, you know, still stands up. And I know this is a huge debate between people, and I get why, because they are both fantastic games. Again, when you look at it at face value, I think Ocarina of Time deserves to be upgraded, you know, so then it can join Twilight Princess in the modern era and be considered new. You know, I don't think Ocarina of Time really doesn't stand up to modern games nowadays because they are so much more richer and filled with new mechanics. You know, Ocarina of Time was very much a pioneer of those mechanics, and now it is time for it to join them. But also, when you think from Nintendo's perspective, this is the 40th anniversary of Zelda. If they were going to do any game from the series, why would it not be Ocarina of Time? And I've seen, you know, TikToks of people online reacting to the announcement. I've seen people that aren't really involved in gaming that much reacting to the announcement. You can see like I see a lot of people saying, oh, the millennial generation is coming to are buying Switches just to play this game. So Nintendo not only have Nintendo got people that already love Zelda and will follow the game anywhere coming to the Switch to play Ocarina of Time, you now have people from a generation that they might have lost interest over time now buying Switch 2s to play Ocarina of Time, bringing in that money. I mean, at the end of the day, Nintendo is a company. Like, they are going to do the thing that brings them the most money. I mean, that fan base that have come from Breath of the Wild will now get to experience the original games. So again, I've seen so many TikToks of people saying, oh, I'm not going to buy Switch 2. I'm not going to buy Switch 2. and then buying it. So from Nintendo's perspective, this is a money-making machine, and that's what it is. Again, Nintendo is a company at the end of the day. Everyone and their mum is buying a Nintendo Switch just to play this game, you know, and I think that says a lot about how much people wanted to see it and how much it deserves to be remade. But I think looking at it from a gaming perspective, you know, from a gamer's perspective, and also from a financial perspective, I can totally see why Ocarina of Time deserves to have this more than Twilight Princess. And I hope for you people that absolutely adore Twilight Princess, the same I do Ocarina of Time, I hope you guys get something from Nintendo eventually, because I do think you guys deserve it, you know? Out of all the games, I mean, they've brought Skyward Sword to Switch, they've brought Wind Waker to the Switch through the online service. For some reason, they are dodging around Twilight Princess, and I get why people get frustrated. So that is everything. That is my hot takes. If you can't tell, it's absolutely boiling in here. In the UK, it is currently around about, what, 30 degrees? 27 degrees at the minute. I'm absolutely turning into a crisp in here. So I'm going to end this video here. Please let me know what you think. Again, this is just my opinion. You know, this isn't law. I'm not saying you must believe this. This is what I'd like to see, and I think it's a fun way to do it, and I hope you agree, but let me know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will see you in a future one. Now get out of here. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to play the end card. I'm going to stay you down. So yeah, get out of here.